we'll get started. All right, so what we need for you guys to do is to go ahead and join that Google Classroom, and we want you to open up the Innovation Blast assignment, okay? And you are going to go down to slide 3. And slide 3 is gonna be our leave it, love it, learn it, okay? This is gonna be our reflection. Now, I don't see it on my screen, but you guys will see it on your screen. Since you're in draft mode, you'll notice off to the side, and if you don't see it off to the side, you should have some blank click text in here squares, okay? What you're gonna be doing, we are going to work on the leave it and love it section. What from 2021, right? From 20 to 21, from this last school year that we lived and survived, okay? What are the things that you want to leave behind? And what are the things that you absolutely loved? So we're gonna give you about 4 minutes. We're gonna wait and see about if you guys need more or less time, we'll kind of check at that 4-minute mark. What are the things that you want to leave behind, and what are the things that you really enjoyed? Because we did learn a lot this year. Our students learned a lot. So what are the things that you want to leave behind, and what do you love? So you'll just go ahead and write them in that little sticky note in that text box, and then you're going to drag them over to the appropriate column. Don't worry about the learn it just yet. We're going to do that first, okay? The first two, the pink and the blue columns. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes. Let me get my timer. Set it to 4 minutes. All right, and then we're gonna come back. Okay. Okay, and that is time. That is time. So if you just got the slides right now, you're just gonna wanna jot those in. What I'd like for us to do now is let's kind of spend some time. Let's share out. Let's share out. What are some of the things that you guys want to leave behind? You can go ahead and put that in the chat. If you want to unmute yourself as well and kind of share out, that's fine too. So go ahead and share it in the chat, or feel free to unmute your mic. What are those things that you are ready to leave behind for the 2021 school year? Okay. I know for me, one of the big things, reflecting on my role and everything that we've done, leaving behind the office drop-in hours, because that was not very successful and a lot of people did not take advantage of those. And that was where we kind of set out like this open time to just kind of be in a Google Hangout or be in a Zoom, and anyone could go and drop in. I think it wasn't successful because it was different times all the time and it wasn't consistent. But I know that that was one thing where I was like, that did not work. But what did work, and what I absolutely loved, was being able to work with teachers one-to-one immediately. Like right when they would email me a question, I'd be like, hey, well, can you get on, can you jump into a Meet? Can you jump into a Zoom? And we would connect right away. So I'm definitely keeping the one-to-one, like on-demand kind of live meetings. So definitely keeping that. Another thing for me that I was like, oh no, is the cookie cutter PD. So for me, that was like, I know sometimes we need it to like get ideas and to kind of share things and just say, hey, cool thing, you know, check this out, come look at this. But other than that, I am just really seeing right now where teachers are just spread out as far as their understanding with tech and what they're using and what they need. And I think that's the big thing, what they need. So I know definitely moving on, what I'm loving is kind of like this personalized kind of PD path. That's one thing that I'm really liking. So as teachers, let's kind of take a look at the chat. We're getting some drop-ins here. And also please feel free to unmute your mic so we can hear you as well if you'd like to share that way. I'm going to take this time like that I'm being quiet right now to kind of look through the chat. So if anyone wants to unmute their mic. Oh my gosh, yes, guys. Teaching with the dual modalities, concurrently or hybrid, or all these different words, right, that we use to describe it. Chaos, craziness. No, I'm just joking. But no, that was really hard, right? Being split into two different roles, teaching students live online versus, you know, teaching students face-to-face in the classroom. And I think that that's one lesson, right, that it's learned, because that is two different ways to teach. Two very different ways to teach. So you guys were being tasked with having to do that, you know, everything that you had to do times two, right? So you had to prepare it for face-to-face, and you had to have it prepared for online learning as well. So definitely something that is like, oh no, if we could switch it, we will, right? So that's a definite one.
Teaching online is a complete different skill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's its own animal, and it's got its special, specific things you have to do and not do to engage. And first of all, to learn to have to do that is really tough, and then to have to do it in addition to teaching live is almost impossible. Hats off to everybody who did that.
Yes, big props, guys, because that was hard. You guys were amazing. Adriana, did you have something you wanted to share?
It's kind of, the same. I teach at the high school, and the asynchronous, having, face-to-face, and then asynchronous students emailing me at 7 p.m. How do I do that? So I just want to leave all the virtual behind. I really want to get the kids back, face-to-face.
And that's one thing that we saw a lot of, like in the summer school sessions that have been opening up. We're just seeing teachers like super smiling and like ready to go, And our big thing is like, yes, like let's do it, face to face. Let's bring in all these good strategies, and then also let's bring in those things that worked. Those online things where you're like, what? My kids can find out right away what if they're getting it or not. Oh, the kids, you guys, I have to tell you, they absolutely loved the instructional videos, being able to play, pause, rewind, slow down, speed up, just being able to do that with the instructional videos, that is definitely a keeper. And I think this is a great way to let's transition to those things that you loved. What were the things that you discovered that you loved? Go ahead and share them in the chat, or feel free to unmute your mic.
Okay, one of the things I loved was the Google Forms self-grading. It made my life easier when it came to grade. So that's the keeper. So definitely, I know Teacher Made, the live worksheets, they really helped out. So those are a keeper for sure.
Definitely, guys. And that was a big thing. Like when we met with Dr. Verstiff had a time where we met with small groups of students, and we just kind of asked them questions, what are you thinking about the year? What are the things you like, you don't like, different things like that. And the two big things were the instructional video, and the other thing was knowing if they got it or not. Like knowing that immediate feedback. So that is definitely, if that's not something you haven't added on there, that's something the kids really, really loved. So if you can continue to use that in your future teaching, and when we're coming back in 2021, 22, those are definitely keepers. Okay, Margie agrees with the videos, and Loretta, Google Forms is self-grading.
Are we going to keep GoGuardian? Which I enjoyed because I was able to track some of my students, but the majority were, offline, even though when they were there. So I don't know if GoGuardian is something we're going to keep, but we need to work into, making sure we see all our students, not just a few.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are going to keep GoGuardian. And if you're having specific problems, let us know, because we did have to deal with that with a lot of people. And when we did, we were pretty much able to get everybody on. So let us know whenever that's not working.
Okay, thanks.
And for those of you that don't know, the district, we piloted GoGuardian this year, which was a program where teachers could go in and they could see what screens their students were on. You could push out certain screens to small groups. You could connect and communicate with your students online. So all of those things, like, it's going to be awesome even when we bring students back face to face and we have them working on the computers or creating something on the computers, where you can kind of go in and check and look and see, like, all right, are they on the right site? Or, hey, let me send you this link. You might need this resource instead, just different things that you can do. We'll have more with that. If you weren't a part of those pilots, GoGuardian is something we're going to be looking at using in the future. So we'll have some training for you guys on that. So that's great. That you guys, loved it. They loved the GoGuardian. Okay. All right. Anything else that you guys absolutely loved? You really liked? I think definitely that feedback part, because that's a win on both sides. For the teacher, being able to quickly see, did my kids get it or not? And then for the students as well, to know where they stand. So that's definitely something. Anything else that you guys have? Smaller classes are nice. Yes, definitely.
I would say that I think it's wonderful. One of our goals as a department over the last several years was to increase the number of teachers using Google Classroom. And all it takes is a pandemic, and all of a sudden we're at 100%. Yay, 100% instructional technology. So, yeah, we have everybody at that point now, and we're just going to be really careful not to let it all go downhill right away. You know, it can't be, oh, we're done with that, so we're not going to use any of this stuff anymore. But yeah, I was thrilled when all of a sudden everybody's on Google Classroom. It's like, yay.
And one thing that our team was really talking about was just that this is such a great opportunity for us to take advantage of, because yes, we got those basics down, we got some good stuff. You know, we're coming into the excitement of coming back face to face. And we've been consumers of technology, right? We've been taking it in and consuming it, but how can we get the kids to start creating with it? So that's that next step. We got these basics down. Like, how can we start to create with it? Us, ourselves as teachers, and our students as well. So that's going to be a big focus from our team also, is getting those students creating, collaborating, doing all those things. And it could be, you know, in a group setting, face-to-face without a computer, and it could be with a computer as well. So there's so many different ways that we can do this. So we just always kind of want to keep that option out there for everyone. So let's see. Teams grading. Ms. Moreno is asking if there's going to be integration of Google Classroom with Teams grading. I know that there's that option in Google Classroom where you can upload a spreadsheet. I don't think that has ever, was it successful, Dale? Do you know, where teachers could download the CSV file and then upload it into Google Classroom? Did you ever hear anything?
It's doable, but it's not instantaneous. It's easier than manually copying your grades over. But it's not synced with it so that it automatically enters the gradebook. No.
So it's kind of a two-part thing. You got to go in, you got to download
There's
that
a workaround.
CSV and then upload. And if teachers are interested in knowing more about that, we can definitely put together a how-to for you guys on that. Let's see. All right, and then Miss Shirley needs that post that link reposted right in there. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and look at, if you have any more love it's, we would love for you to share it here in the chat. Let's go ahead and look at the learn it part. So this is going to be the part of what we're going to be focusing on for the rest of these 4 days. Okay. What are the things that you want to learn? And we know, like, it was really hard this year because you were already learning so much and taking in so much. What are those things that you wish you could develop more? What is it that you have questions about, or maybe something that you saw your the teacher next door using, or you heard about vaguely? What we want you to do is just go ahead and drop in all the different things that you want to learn. So what are the things that you'd like to get better at, or the things that you're like, hey, you know, I heard this or I saw this somewhere? We want you to kind of write those out and just put them all over that learn it section. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to do that, and let's see if you guys need more time or not, but we'll see. We'll try it with 3 minutes and then we'll check.
So everybody probably knows this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you know that if you hover in Meet over the window that's being presented, and there's a little thumbtack there, you can click that and it makes that window small, and then you can see everybody. Or you can click on the pin again and it brings it up.
Okay, go ahead and wrap up those last thoughts on your Learn It section. And let's go back over here. All right, and let's come back to the chat. You can unmute your microphone if you would like, or if you would like to drop in the chat, what are some of the things that you would like to learn? And this is giving us a good idea too, because honestly, like, as we're like, how are we going to do PD this summer? You know, talking about that as a group, we're like, what do they want to know? Like you guys have learned so much. Like, what is it that you really liked? You know, so this is really giving us a good idea for this school year. Like, what are the things that you guys want to be learning right now? So please go ahead and drop some of your ideas in the chat, or unmute your microphone and share out with us. What are some of the things that you're wanting to learn? And then just to let you know also, the way that this notebook is going to work is we're going to be jumping into the notebooks, and we'll be looking at responses and things. We're going to be writing comments to you guys, giving you resources, different things like that as we go through the Innovation Blast Week.
Can I talk about Ms. Salgado's question?
Sure.
If we have any virtual students, they will be separate from the live students. Nobody will have to teach both at the same time anymore. So there's the possibility that there will be a virtual academy, depending on the state and stuff like that. But those students will have to work pretty hard to get into that. There are really high qualifications for that, and they wouldn't be a part of the normal campus. So yeah, it'll be available under specific circumstances, but nobody's going to teach both.
Well, I personally want to learn more like Pear Deck, Go Formative, more instructional, things we can use. I know I learned a little bit of Teacher Made. I know I found live worksheets, which I had never even heard of. So I just wanted to learn a little bit more things I could use in the classroom.
Nice, like quick little easy pickup tools that you can go in and use real quick. And it looks like there's a couple of people too, how to use Teacher Made. Laura David said Genially. Let's see, a lot of resources out there. It's overwhelming. It definitely is. It definitely is. So what's going to be great about what I think is going to be great, I'm biased, about this Innovation Blast Week is you guys are going to pick that one thing that you want to learn about. You're going to gather resources on that. We're going to help you get resources on that. And then you're going to get your opportunity and your chance to learn it. So you can pick that one thing that you're wanting to do. Let's see. Good to hear about the virtual. They're excited about that. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else that you guys are wanting to learn? I know for me, like some of the tools that I wanted to take a closer look at was Desmos. Desmos was definitely one of them. Blooket is one that I got to try out with students, but I couldn't get images to work. So I kind of want to look at that a little bit. But the other thing, like besides just tools, is I know the things that I'm going to be looking at is post-pandemic possibilities. Like, what is this going to look like coming back? And I know we can't predict the future. I know we can't predict the future and what's going to happen, but there have been studies that have been done, like what happened after Hurricane Katrina, where those students lost a lot of schooling time, and how those students came back and how did they recover, so just looking at different things like that. So a lot of like the sessions and things I'm kind of looking at is like, okay, coming back into the school year, what can we expect? And what are some of the things we can do to help empower teachers and our students? So I know that that's another thing too that I kind of want to learn more about and get more ideas on or around, okay? All right, so you guys have those in there, okay? And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at those. So we'll be jumping in and we're going to be looking at what you guys have put on your slides, okay? All right, Margie. Oh, yes. Guys, everything that we do, we record and we always have it posted for you guys on our online learning hub. So we always have that as a resource for you guys too. We did a lot of PD during the spring of last year. We did a lot of it. So we have that all recorded for you guys as resources in there. Okay. We're glad you were able to use that, Ms. Moreno. All right. So what we're going to do now, so you guys have reflected, right? We kind of have an idea of the different things that you want to learn. What we're going to do tomorrow for day 2 is we're going to spend some time. All right. What's out there? What, of all the things that I want to learn, what are some of the videos that are out there or different blog posts out there, just different ideas, right? We're going to be doing all that tomorrow.